Hi, everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of The Experience Shift. I am live in Victor, Idaho. It's a little cloudy today, but the Grand Teton Mountains are right behind me. I had a chance to have a really quintessential spring skiing weekend where I skied in a t-shirt, and then I got to play golf and ride a bike all in the same day, which is pretty cool. So I'm here, and I'm heading back to Boston, and then I'm going down to New York for a Pro Gathers event this week. I'm very excited to meet with many of our customers and some future customers. But I wanted to round out the Vegas Strip series that we've been on the last couple of weeks. We've talked a lot about intention of how we govern our technology, intention of how we segment and target our customers, and how we know them and get to know them better so that we can have a chance of catching them in stride. But reality happens. I spent a lot of time in the consumer insights industry, and we would test these beautiful executions before they went live. And then they would go live and something was wrong. The way that it was executed, the way that it showed up in end caps, etc. And it didn't have the results that it needed. And so the execution is when reality happens. And I think too often what's happening is even if we're doing all the right things up front to be intentional, we're getting something out there. We haven't been clear about the short feedback cycles required to see if we're on the right track or not. And a lot of times it fails, not because we were completely wrong, but because we didn't have an experimental mindset and we weren't iterating until we had results and kept learning with our customers. Too often product teams are shipping something and then they're moving their desks to ship something completely different versus staying engaged with the customer until something actually works. Same thing with marketing, right? If we're trying an experiment, chances are the first 2 or 3 things we're going to do are going to be wrong. But the learnings throughout that compound, and that's what helps us get to the other side. And ultimately produce very linear reports in HBR that always look like everything was perfect. But behind all that was a ton of experimentation and failure and iteration and then follow through. So get your systems intentional, be really thoughtful of who you're targeting, but then stay focused and experimental so that you can keep iterating to get the results that your business deserves and that your customers expect.